Hi everyone, it's Nicole here from Sydney English Teacher and from the Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher. And I'd like to welcome you to episode number 30 of my Question of the Day series. I can't believe we've already answered 30 questions about learning the English language, and I've shared lots and lots and lots of tips to help you become a more confident learner and to see results much more quickly. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm live on my Facebook page and also over on my YouTube channel. And a big thank you also to those of you who are watching the replay. I really appreciate it. So what are we going to talk about today for episode number 30? Well, the question is, will I ever be as confident and fluent in English as I am in my mother tongue? Will I ever be as confident and fluent in English as I am in my mother tongue? What a good question. And I'm sure that as language learners, not just learners of the English language, this is something that we ask ourselves quite frequently. I asked myself this as well when I was learning a few languages, and I saw it was a long journey ahead from the very beginning. And I thought, will I ever get there? Will I ever be as confident as I am in English? Will I ever be able to speak fluently? And the answer is yes. I did it. You can do it too. So let me answer this question in a bit more detail and give you a few tips about what you can do and how you can look at this question a little bit differently so that you do become more confident and fluent when you communicate in English. Are you ready? Number one, the foundations of a language are what make you even better. Let me explain that a little bit more. So often you are even better in English than you are in your mother tongue, even if you don't think so. This is because with the English language, because it's not your first language, you have to start from the very beginning, and you have to learn the background, the foundations, the grammar, and the structure in order to learn and to use the English language. You have to start from the beginning and learn everything and build it together like a puzzle. Um, and this background knowledge, these foundations, this grammar and this structure, these are all learnt naturally in your own language. They come to you naturally. You never really had to sit down and learn them. Um, and that sadly means that often the important technical aspects of your own language are missing or are very difficult to understand because you never had to learn them. You've never learnt them properly, just like in English you had to. Without learning them in English, there's no chance basically to improve and to communicate. So, what I want you to do, okay, is to change your thinking and realize that from this particular aspect of looking at the background, the foundation, the grammar, the structure of the English language, from this particular aspect, you are actually much better in English than you are in your own language. So a big congratulations to you. Well done. Next, it's actually easier to express yourself in English. Did you know that? Often, if you use the English language more frequently than you do your own language, for example, you use English for work or for your education, maybe for socialization, or even for entertainment. If you use English more often in these areas than you use your own language, you can actually become much more confident communicating in English than you are in your own language. Sometimes it's easier to find the words to express yourself in English than it is in your own language. And it simply is because you're using English more often. So, English can be easier for you. You can be more confident or more fluent in English simply because you're using it more often. Is that the case for you? Is it sometimes easier to find the words in English? Yeah. And that happens because you have consciously made an effort to learn it. It doesn't come naturally as your own language does. You've had to learn it and think about it and focus on it. And that step alone often allows you to think of that word or that grammar point or that sentence more quickly than you would in your own language. That's exciting. Next, did you know that you can actually be fluent in several languages? Okay, don't stress about not being fluent in English yet, or don't worry about not becoming fluent in English because it actually is possible. Okay? You can be fluent in several languages at the same time. And you can switch between two or three languages quite easily. Um, that's what I've done. I speak several languages myself, and I find it really easy to switch and to think in each particular language. And you can do the same, multilingual people. This is normal for them. And yes, you can be fluent in more than one. However, often your skills or your ability or your confidence in one particular skill can be stronger in one language than they are in another language. For example, this is often the case with writing. If you write in English, for example, much more often than you do in German or French or Italian or Spanish or Chinese or whatever the language might be, if you write in English more than you do in your language, English might even overtake your ability in that particular skill in your own language. That's exciting, This happens quite a lot, even with my parents, for example. Their native language is German. However, they use English for their work, for their business, for their, socialization. Everything is English because they live in Australia. And of course, they write more often in English than they do in German. So they are more confident writing in English. It comes more easily to them, I suppose. And that's just completely normal if you are multilingual. Um, so, again, it is entirely possible to be fluent in several languages. Whether that's English or any other language, okay? In two, three, four, five languages, doesn't matter, but it is entirely possible to be fluent in more than one language, especially if you work in that language, if you travel using that language, or even if you live in a country that speaks that language. So, fluency is definitely possible. And number four, there is absolutely no need to compare the two. What do I mean by that? Well, the more you practice and the more you surround yourself by the English language, the more confident and fluent you will be. You know, there's no reason or no need for you to compare English to your mother tongue. It actually won't help you at all if you compare your ability in the two languages. So instead, I want you to focus on your ability in English. And I want you to see how much you have already achieved in the English language. I want you to realize how much you have already learnt in the English language. And more importantly, how much you have already improved, how far you have already come. So instead of comparing your skills between English and your mother tongue or another language, don't do that. Instead, focus on where you are now with your English and on how far you have already come. And yeah, comparison won't help. So instead, celebrate your achievements and what you have already done. And yeah, the journey will be so much more rewarding. The results, the destination will be so much more exciting. So let's have a quick look at the most important points that I'd like you to remember from today. Number one, you have the foundations. Okay, you know the background of English, the structure of English, the grammar, the technical side, um, and that is what makes you amazing at the English language. You don't have this structure or background in your own language because you learnt it naturally. You didn't have to sit down and study it or learn how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So you have the foundations of the English language. Focus on the fact that your English is better than your own language. And that's number two. Your English is better. You know, if you use English more frequently than your own language for work or education or travel or entertainment or socialization, for example, you can actually become better in English than your own language. Um, you can find it easier to express yourself in English than in your mother tongue. That's exciting. Number three, it's possible to be fluent in many languages. Okay, fluency in many languages, in several languages, is possible. Fluency and confidence is not just tied to one language. Okay, it can be in several at the same time. And number four, definitely don't compare your ability between languages. Instead, focus on how much you have already learnt, how much you have already achieved, how much you have already improved in English, and that will alone make you feel much more confident in your ability. So, a quick bonus tip from me: it's important to know that both confidence and fluency in a language, in any language, is all about self belief. Okay, if you believe that you are great at communicating in English, if you think, wow, I'm so good, I'm doing really well. If you believe that, then you will be great at communicating. Okay, so believe that you are great at communicating in English, and you will be. It's all a matter of the mind, self belief, self confidence. You can do anything that you set your mind to, okay? Never forget that. You've already come so far with the English language. You've achieved that. You can achieve so much more as well. So never give up. Just keep going, keep learning, keep practicing, keep doing, and keep believing. Okay, really important. Never lose that self belief. If you have any questions at all about today's topic, about fluency and confidence, please do ask. Or if you have any requests for future topics that you'd like me to focus on, definitely get in touch via my website, or you can send me a message on Messenger or an email, or even just write something in the comments below. I'm more than happy to include your request, your topic on my list for a future episode. And if you enjoyed learning with me today and would like to learn a little bit more, come and join my learning community. You know, we have a great website and blog with hundreds of learning resources for you to access. The Facebook page and group is an amazing community of thousands of English learners from all over the world. And of course, my YouTube channel has hundreds of learning videos there for you to access on all topics of the English language. And of course, we've also got my online courses, which you're more than welcome to go and have a look at. I'd love to help you. So, thank you very much for joining me today for the question of the day. I do hope that you found episode 30 really enjoyable and helpful. And I look forward to bringing episode 31 to you really, really, really soon. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye.